What's up, Speaker fam? Welcome to the Speak Organized podcast. Today's episode is one that you guys have asked me for over and over again, and I am proud to say that I'm going to deliver on that promise today because I've got my gal, Keli Jakel, on the show. She is the creator of the Elenore software specifically for professional organizing businesses, and she's going to school us up and down and all around about that software, everything that it entails, and all the possibilities of running your business in a more streamlined and efficient way.
So some of the features that I think really set it apart, really this missing piece in the community. One is the conversations. It's unbelievable to me. So if someone messages you on Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, text message, email, all of these things are landing in one screen, in one place. And you can respond back right there, computer or on your phone, to that person. And you're not, I've been there. You're like, oh, I got to check Messenger. Oh, I got to check this, because we just have things coming in from so many directions.
Right.
So it's overwhelming to keep up with. One huge feature that is truly amazing.
There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with this software. Keeping track of leads will never be easier. It's got email campaign capabilities. You can build your website on it. There's all kinds of stuff. It's an all-in-one tool specifically for our industry. So if you were one of those people that asked about this, obviously I encourage you to stick around. And if you're interested to speak to you, have no idea what I'm talking about, then let's dive in and find out. Stick around. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome to the Speak Organized podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host, Melanie Summers, professional organizer, decluttering expert, and ADHD organizing specialist. I like to speak organized to give you the tools to conquer your clutter, live life with more purpose, and learn all about the business of tidying. Do me a favor, if you're not subscribed, please take out your device and tap that subscribe button so that you never miss out on another opportunity to hang out with all of the speaker fam. We are a robust, growing community of like-minded people, and I would love to have you be a part of it. Don't forget, as you get value out of this video, to give it a big old thumbs up and tap that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube so that you don't miss our new episodes that come out every single week. If you're an Apple Podcast user, you can leave us a rave 5-star review, and that will help the channel grow and reach more amazing folks just like you looking to get into the professional organizing game. The main mission here at I Speak Organized is to give you the best quality tools and resources to level up your business and have a truly successful 6 or 7-figure business that doesn't suck away all of your time. So if you're brand new to all of this and it seems very overwhelming, you don't really know where to start, you have come to the right place. I am your go-to gal for all things pro-organizing business. If you're afraid that you aren't enough, like you don't have enough experience or you don't really have the goods to bring to the table to charge what other people charge, or whatever story you happen to be telling yourself, I am here to help you understand that you can be exceptional with the right tools and training. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how I can help you with that. But in the meantime, let's get into this juicy interview. Okay, fam, this is a big one for us. I want you to join me in welcoming Keli. This is Keli from Organize with Keli and Co. She's based in Denver. Did I say all that right? Close enough?
Close enough.
Yeah, the big thing that we're going to be talking about today is the software that you've developed called Elenore. This is one that a lot of people have asked me questions about. I had a gal on the podcast who is recently migrating her business over to that software, and all the comments came back like, oh, can you please get Keli on the show? I want to learn more about it. And so that's what we're here to do today. I was super excited when you agreed to come on the show. So Keli, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I have to tell you that I was really excited to come on your show. I just watched your training from Pro Organizers Summit.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. I sat there and listened to you teaching about ADHD. And I've done a lot of training, all these things about ADHD. But I myself am diagnosed ADHD, have been for nearly 20 years. And when I heard your description, it almost was kind of bone chilling, because I thought, she's in my head. Like, she's following me around. She knows
all my secrets. Yeah.
I think you did a really great job of encapsulating that. And I sent my team to go watch your YouTube and they were
Yeah.
like, that does describe you. But they could see it, but it was not only describing me, but giving some great tips and ways to work with that. So
Absolutely. Oh, I'm
yeah,
so glad. I love that feedback because I like it's one of those things that because so many of my clients have ADHD and I am undiagnosed, but pretty undoubtedly have it myself. Like it just makes so much sense. I'm very passionate about it. So I really appreciate that feedback.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
so I want to get into this and
Okay.
I want to learn a little bit more about you. So one of the things that you mentioned to me before we started filming is the importance of setting up this system because you're not just talking the talk, like you are an actual professional organizer. You own an organizing company. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the professional organizing industry.
Sure, sure. Without making it too long, I'll tell you that my career was in education and I taught and was a school administrator for several years.
Mhm.
And due to illness, I ended up taking a leave from education. And for nearly 10 years, I did not work at all, completely disabled by trigeminal neuralgia and chronic migraine. Interesting thing happened over those 10 years. It was basically from uh, '09 until 2019, which is basically when smartphones became a thing. Technology changed so much over those 10 years. The way we do life and business and work changed.
Mhm.
But I didn't touch a computer. And my smartphone was like for social media and text messaging. Like I wasn't working.
Mhm.
I started to get better. I had some changes to my health and I started to get better. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to education. And I kept looking at like applying and I couldn't even bring myself to push the submit button on an application because that wasn't really what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And so I read a book about blind spots and I realized I'm an organizer, not an educator. And I had been organizing departments and schools and staffing and textbooks and assessments, all these things for school districts when I was there. And that's what I love. That was my zone of genius, was to get these systems and things created. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just go organize for some people. And like so many of us in this industry, what I thought would be one-on-one, few hours a week side gig. Now here I am and I have a team of 13 and we're all busy, we're booked out, everything's going and rolling, and I'm no longer on site. I am here managing things, doing marketing and working on things like Elenore, Organizer Near Me, like all these other projects that
Mhm.
now I'm able to do on the side. And my team is up and functioning and things are going. So that's kind of the story that brought me to where I am now.
Well, isn't that just so inspiring? I'm like on the precipice of that journey myself with my business, having a small team. I've got 5 employees
Okay.
that work for me now, and I'm going to be stepping off site. I talked about this in my other interview with Holly, off site completely as of April 1st for the very same reasons, to really kind of like it's just nice to be able to do that. And I think I can only imagine that what we're going to be talking about in today's interview is a large part of why you're able to do that. Would you say so?
Hugely, hugely wide. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive in and talk about it. So,
Okay.
Elenore is, would you call it a CRM? Is that what you call it?
So it's more of an all-in-one business platform because while it's a CRM, it's 14 systems in one. So it's way more than a CRM, but yes, there is a CRM functionality to it,
Yeah.
that piece of it.
So we call it a component of this very robust system that you have.
Very, yes.
What inspired you to create Eleanor, and how did you identify the need for this software and it's specifically tailored to professional organizers? So how did that all come about?
So because I didn't have a lot of background in technology. And because I had been in leadership and administration and other pieces in the past, I knew that my job is to work in my zone of genius. My job is to do what it is I'm called to do and passionate about doing, where I excel. And so very quickly, I realized I need to hire someone to manage these other pieces of my business that I really have no clue how to do on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hired my business manager, Tiffany Ann. I found her honestly in a Dubsado group. I was looking for a QuickBooks specialist that could help me figure out profitability by job in QuickBooks. And she's a QuickBooks specialist. And so that's kind of where we got connected. And she had already been working on Elenore in the background a bit. And so from there, the relationship started, and she's helped me with SEO and Google Ads, like all these pieces that just weren't in my zone of genius.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, we ended up transitioning my Dubsado systems into the system that she was creating. So over time, we were able to take this system and just keep adding pieces, creating workflows, setting things up, being sure that all of the pieces were there so that I would be able to hands off run my business with marketing and just all these aspects of it handled all in one place. And the question was I going to franchise at some point or add different markets or share the software? Like, didn't really know which direction we would take with it over the last couple of years. Just knew that like it was awesome and there was going to be something more to it. So just keep going and pull it together. So that's kind of how it.
And how many years ago was that you kind of 2 years? Wow. So this was like up and running pretty quickly that you saw that great need. And obviously, I'm sure you've seen a great interest in it throughout our community and our industry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. People are clamoring for that. We need it. So let's walk through some of the key features a little bit. So for people that are maybe not as tech savvy, just talk us through some of the components that are available for your business in Elenore.
Sure. So the first thing I'll say about Elenore is it's robust. There is a lot there. And different businesses are at different places in their growth. And so they're ready to take on different levels, different amounts of it.
Mm-hmm.
So one really nice thing is we've found it's actually a great fit for newer organizers because they can grow their system with it and not be in a place where they're starting over. And then experienced organizers are looking at taking all of their Kajabi and Dubsado and Honeybook and MailChimp, and it's a lot to migrate over and reconnect and get it all going because there's other options, and it's not just a mirrored approach to get it done.
Right. Okay. Can you understand why I'm so excited about this conversation today? This is game-changing stuff that we're talking about. And if you're sitting there listening and watching me like, yes, I'm on your level, Melanie, I get it, I am pumped, then I want you to listen up for just the next 90 seconds because I want to take that energy that you have and put it into action. I want to offer you a golden opportunity, one that I wish I had when I first started my organizing business. I want to invite you to book a one-on-one Zoom consult or coaching series with me to get all of your burning questions answered. No gatekeeping here. My goal is to empower you to kick fear to the curb and start your organizing venture with confidence. Discover how to find clients, set prices, structure services, sell without that annoying feeling, improve your website, handle products, create seamless processes, tackle tough client situations, and so much more. You're going to need to act fast because my calendar fills up. So visit the link in the description or the podcast show notes to book your call today. I can't wait to speak organized with you. And if you need those important forms for onboarding your clients, including the essential client agreement, I've got you covered. Save weeks of design with my Pro Organizer Forms pack. You can choose from starter or premium, and they're customizable templates in a free Canva account. Just edit the text to fit your needs and add your branding touches. Use the code YTPRO8 for an exclusive discount at checkout. Get ready to ask and receive those 5-star reviews that will boost your ranking on Google. And if social media seems daunting and makes you want to pull your hair out, then I invite you to join my class. Master a year's worth of content in 1 hour and post consistently with just 2 days of work monthly for real, and learn what really attracts clients. Use my code ISOSocial5 for $5 off. And don't wait. Find all of these goodies down in the description or the podcast show notes. I am here to guide you. Ready to take the leap?
So some of the features that I think really set it apart and make it just really this missing piece in the community. One is the conversations. So it's unbelievable to me. So mine is set up, yours could be set up to where if someone messages you on Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, text message, email, all of these things are landing in one screen, in one place, and you can respond back right there, computer or on your phone, to that person. And you're not, I mean, I've been there. You're like, oh, I got to check Messenger. Oh, I got to check this. Oh, Google, like, because we just have things coming in from so many directions.
Right.
So it's overwhelming to keep up with. So it's one huge feature that is truly amazing, to be able to see the conversation, the texts, the emails, the DMs, all of it right here in one place. Love that. The other really neat thing about that is you can assign users. So as you grow a team, you can say, oh, okay, this specific person is the project manager for this client. So anytime that client calls or anything else, it's going to go to that person, but I can still see it.
Nice.
And as organizers and a lot of type A personalities, like, we want control and we want to trust our team. We want to know that people are going to handle things, but it's a whole lot easier to do that when you can see at least all of the written communication back and forth. You know the tone, you know what's going on. I know when if the lead texts the client and says, hey, we're ready for decisions or we need whatever, I see that. It's right there. It just pops into the system and I know kind of what's happening. So the conversations is absolutely huge. Another really cool thing is the API and the tools and webhooks that go with it. So you can set it up to where Thumbtack leads come straight into the system. Of course, any Google ads or anything like that, but having everything just lead capture right in there. When I had Dubsado a while back, and I don't know if it's changed since then, but part of my struggle was getting those leads entered in to Dubsado so that then I could take it from there. They're all just in there. They all just land in there. And so I don't miss one. I always know the status and the communication and all those pieces. They're just right there at my fingertips. So
that's huge.
It's huge. And then I would just say one other, like, I could go on, and I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but another really nice feature is the tracking of the sources that are coming in. Because everything is coming into one system, you can see, was it paid search, direct traffic, organic search, Thumbtack, like, where are they coming from? And so analyzing your data, determining where you're going to get that ROI on that marketing expense, it's right there for you. You can determine, oh, I want to increase this, decrease that, whatever it might be, because you actually have the data at your fingertips.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's a good problem to have when you get to that stage of your business where you've built up your visibility channels, and that's a great thing. And that's what they tell you to do, is to be visible in as many places as you can, so that, especially if you're trying to support a team, you need to keep them busy. But then leads fall through the cracks all the time and you forget about people and none of us want to be that person that's unresponsive. We want to
We're
be
organizers.
exactly. And we're
Let's
like,
go back.
the customer is like the most important part of that, and so you don't want anybody falling through the cracks. It sounds so nice and so easy to just have everything, whether it's through a webhook or if it's integrated through the software itself, to just have it all in one place. You're not having to check every single platform where you're visible. So that's huge. I love that.
It's a game changer. And then, my project manager and I were both watching to respond. You can control who sees the conversations and who doesn't. So my
Yep.
project manager's leads, like we all see it, we can all respond, and the client doesn't know which person it was.
Right.
So if I know the answer, I can respond, and they don't know if it was Lisa or me or like they don't know, and they don't care because they got their answer.
They got an answer. Yeah, exactly. And they
Yeah,
got it quickly.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is really special too. Yeah, conversations feature is huge. So, we kind of have started to touch on this a little bit. Obviously, the whole software premise is to streamline a lot of those back end processes, especially those ones that we may not be so good at or we may not enjoy. Why not have a piece of software that can take over all of that? So, in what ways has Elenore streamlined or improved the day-to-day operations of a professional organizing business?
Oh, hugely. It also integrates with so many pieces, integrates with QuickBooks and Stripe, integrates with all the Google platforms. So the Google Drive, Google folders, my tech stack has shrunk
Mhm.
significantly. I still use Canva. I still use QuickBooks. And then I use Elenore and Google Drive. Like those are pretty much the places that I pop into
Mhm.
at this point. Inside of Elenore, being able to manage all these things and all of these automations set up, we have a graph on the website that shows the client journey. And there was a point in time where I was working 12 plus hours a day just trying to follow the client journey and get the sales done and possibly be on site. But even when I removed myself from being on site, just so many pieces to manage of all of that. Now, with the automations and the pieces I have set up for my business, I still do sales calls, but they pop into my calendar and they're there, which a lot of people have that piece, but all their information is already in my system.
Mm.
And then I have a consult form that I pull up and I just complete that consult form during the consult. I do Zoom consults or phone. And then I can just, with a click of a button, send them my recommendations and their proposal or their packages right from there. So I don't have any extra time afterwards. It's just all encapsulated in that 30-minute time period. Send it. And then the system pretty much handles it until their deposit is received. And I get a text message to my personal cell phone number that says, hey, this one closed, go schedule. So I get everything scheduled. So I did the sales call,
Mhm.
I schedule everything. Then I have systems in place to where the team manages it from there. And there's an option in the pipeline where you can take a card. It looks kind of like Trello,
Mhm.
and you can take a card, drag and drop it to say that it needs my input or something from me. If that happens, I get a text message and it says, hey, this client needs your attention. So I can hop in and maybe they want to buy more hours. Maybe they're not thrilled with service, like whatever it might be that it needs my attention.
Mhm.
But if not, I might not even have another touch with that client until everything's completed and it's time to send the final invoice. And I get again a text message that says, go check the final invoice. I review it, send it, and the system takes the rest. So I do that sales call, scheduling, send the final invoice. And then if there was an issue in between, that's greatly reduced the amount of time and the touches that I have with the clients at this point.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people that listen to the podcast and watch my YouTube channel, they're kind of in the beginning stages of all of this and don't necessarily know all of the newfound wonderful problems that are awaiting them on the other end of this business
Oh,
journey.
yeah.
And isn't it nice to know? And you pointed out at the beginning of the podcast today that this is a software that is actually very accessible for new professional organizers. You know, I imagine that you can use certain features and then expand into using others as your business grows, and it's all right there for you and it integrates and plays nice. Integration basically just means that it plays nice with other softwares. So, isn't it nice to know that you don't have to use the entire suite of products right from the beginning, but you can have access to those at your fingertips when you need them because you will need them.
Right.
Unless you want to spend, what would you say, 12 hours a day?
Well, oh yeah, I was working just nonstop. No,
Mhm.
I don't need, could be more. Like that's all I was doing, you
Yeah,
know? And now I'm at this point where a couple hours a day and doing other things.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, living
yeah,
your life. How nice would that be? That's, I mean, a whole part of the reason why ultimately, or initially, I should say, people want to start their own business is to have freedom, flexibility, and control over their schedule and to be able to do the things that matter most to them, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And after not working for basically a decade,
Yeah.
I am so driven. Like I love it. I missed it so much.
Mhm.
And so it was kind of a weird feeling when I did hit this point that my business doesn't really need me very much.
Mhm.
That was something I emotionally had to work through.
Mm.
Was having it like I that's the dream, but when you're right at the foot of it, you're like, but don't you need me?
Yeah. Well, you're onto something good, and you've got other projects going on. Obviously, this Elenore piece of software is huge and is going to change the industry, which kind of leads me into my next question. Obviously, the professional organizing industry is continuing to gain steam. It's continuing to become more well known, especially in America and other parts of the UK and Australia and throughout the world. And so it's becoming a more legitimate business essentially. And that has happened pretty rapidly within the last 5 to 10 years, particularly in the last 5. So, how do you see this software shaping the future of our industry?
So interestingly enough, like this other side project that I mentioned, Organizer Near Me.
Mhm.
So in doing the research to get started with Organizer Near Me, we were able to look into not my tech skills, but Tiffany Ann's. We were able to look into Find My Organizer,
Mm.
see like how many organizers are actually in their database, like listed, signed up. I don't want to give the wrong number. I will just tell you it was hundreds of thousands,
I'm in
which
there.
I'm in there, but that's way more than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands, sure. Hundreds of thousands, no.
Mhm.
And so we really got in there and started looking at it. And I was like, that can't be. It's wrong. Like, there just are not that many. And so we pulled Colorado. I did all this research. I'm like, I don't think it's actually wrong. But what I did find is because the barrier to entry is so minimal to get started, and often the business knowledge is limited. And then there aren't any great systems where you don't feel like you're duct taping together
Mhm.
in a system. I think the number of people that are starting and burning out and leaving is really high.
Mhm.
That is such a shame because one thing that I would say 99.9% of organizers have in common, servant's heart. We want to help people. We want to make things great for other people. And so the more that we can empower others to do that, the better off everyone is going to be. But we can't burn our teachers out and have them all leaving and burn our organizers out and our nurses, like all these service-based, we can't burn them all out. And
Absolutely.
so to answer your question, I just feel like for the industry, having tools in place where, it's a very collaborative industry. Everyone's really kind and rooting for each other and all of these things. But sometimes the tools, the actual business tools, are a little tough to get your hands on. And especially when you come in without any background knowledge, knowing you don't even know what you don't know, right?
Right.
As you were mentioning earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah. That you brought up so many good points. I mean, really, this is such an inclusive and very welcoming industry. And sometimes the training or the coaching, mentorship, whatever is lacking, and the tools are lacking. And so it's so nice to have something like this to fill in those gaps and support those people who are new to the industry and point out, where we're coming from at the heart of it and what our goals really are for starting a business like this. And isn't it nice to know that there's something that can help position you into a place where you really can have a thriving business, which turns into a thriving community. There are so many people that need our help. And this is one of the topics that I speak on, is the fact that we're in the process of the largest intergenerational transfer of wealth in human history. So many people have so much stuff and it's just overabundance and no way of processing it, which is where we come in. And wouldn't it be nice if we had well-trained, well-educated, well-resourced individuals to take on that problem in our society? And I think this is a huge part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not like just trying to plug organizer near me, but part of what is special about that is that when organizers sign up, even on the free account, you can add in your specialties and things so that we can find each other. Like you see it in the groups all the time. And like,
Mhm.
oh, so and so's mom in Arizona is having this intergenerational transfer. There's all these things happening. And can anybody help her? Or is there someone there?
Right.
And so the hope is you can pull it up by the map and see where people are, click on them, get a feel for their vibe, what they specialize in, and be able to more easily refer each other because we want to help people find the right organizer. There's so many different niches, so many different ways of
Mhm.
doing this, none of them right, wrong, just different. And helping people connect to that right piece is
Mhm.
huge.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liken it with my coaching clients. I liken it to the medical industry. You're not going to go to a cardiologist if you need to see like an ophthalmologist or an OBGYN. Like you need a specialist for certain things. And it's no different in our industry, which is one of the things I love about it. And so it seems like there's a couple of things that we're going to need to cite down in the description and the podcast show notes of this so that we can start to connect in a better, more professional way. So obviously, and we can talk about this with Elenore and also organizer near me. I want to know the feedback because there are some people that are still going to be like listening to this or watching it and thinking to themselves, well, like I'm not tech savvy. I'm not in a place where I feel like this is what I need, or I'm not ready for this yet. So I want these folks to be encouraged. I want you all to be encouraged to know that you are worthy of these resources. So let's hear a little bit about some feedback that you've received. So what are some things that other organizers have told you about implementing Elenore into their businesses, and how has it positively impacted their work?
Sure. Good question. So one of the big pieces of feedback we've had is just how robust the system is. I think, so many of us are familiar with HoneyBook or Dubsado or something, like these pieces
Yep.
that do what they do well, but you may come to a place where you outgrow that, or it may not exactly meet what you need. And so just knowing like, even with any system like that, there's a learning curve. And you have to put yourself out there and be willing to learn how to use the tool,
Hmm.
any tool. QuickBooks, it doesn't matter. Any tool. There's
Hmm.
a learning curve to learn how to use it. What we are finding is the people that we were offering migrations in the beginning, and we're not doing any more migration. Because what we've found is when you just get dropped off at the destination and you don't know the journey and the pieces for getting there, it's more overwhelming to figure out how to use everything than if you've been along for the ride, or your second in command, or, project manager, someone has been along for the ride and implemented these pieces. Well, then it's exciting, and that learning curve, and they're able to own it and use it and adjust it to what they need more. So that's one of the pieces of feedback we've had. The other feedback we've had is just being blown away by the amount of time saved, especially again, that conversations tab, because the time spent on Slack or text or communicating with the team and being sure that everybody's on the same page so that they show up at the job ready to go, it just evaporates. Everything is right there. And so just the huge amount of time savings once you get implemented and going in there.
Yeah, of course. And it's I'm glad you brought that up. And I think sometimes not everybody is this way, but there are folks out there that may think that a system like this will be sort of a plug and play, and it'll kind of just do everything for you without recognizing that you're going to have to still put in a tremendous amount of work on the front end so that the back end has that streamlined evaporation of issues. Isn't that so nice?
Yes.
But I mean, those of us who have that entrepreneurial spirit are ready to jump in and be problem solvers. So let's talk a little bit about some happy clients that have come into the Elenore universe and are using it. Can you give us a specific example? Do you know somebody who has been able to implement this into their business, and share with us how it has helped grow their efficiency and have a positive impact on their team?
I'll say we're a little young to have anyone kind of to my level, except for a few people that were on before we really launched in September. But we're looking at 4 months, right, of getting up and going. And
Awesome.
but I do know for sure there are a few that they'll say the same things that I do. They have saved so much time in their systems. And, a lot of times when you're newer to the organizing industry, you know how to organize a house or a space. But then organizing the back end of your business is a whole other endeavor. The first thing you have to do is figure out how you do business. And until you know how you do business, there's no system that can accommodate and you can't set something up to do your way when you don't yet know what your way is. And so I will say that that is another real piece of feedback that we've had, is a lot of people that are implementing and getting going are like, oh, I need to make these decisions along the way on this journey for how do I do business? How do I set a lot of these pieces up? And so there's just this great feeling of satisfaction once the systems, sometimes we're like, oh, I need to stay home and write it in my notebook and figure out my systems, or, type it up. But this is actually implementing and making it in the system. So it really puts you in a spot to take the driver's seat and actually create those systems.
That is very interesting. It's almost like an unintentional form of accountability, because like you said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. And once, if you were to invest in this software and see all the possibilities of how it kind of leads you on the journey of growing your business in a way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we created a snapshot, which is basically we took my automations, my workflows, my everything, and we made it anonymous. We took my logo out, etc. Really kind of, brought it down, and they're in there. So when you sign up, you can use the way I do things. But the funny thing is, we don't do things the same. And so it's there, it's a sample, it's a guide. You're welcome to use it. But all these systems are interconnected. And when you do one thing one way, you're not going to do the next thing, it all has to come together for you. So if I were to give advice, I would say start with it when you're newer. Doesn't mean that if you're established, you can't make the switch. You absolutely can do it. We have lots of people in progress with it that have pieces of the system up and running and loving it, but they don't have the whole thing done yet.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say start when you're younger and newer. Get that conversations tab going. That's the first step. That's the first level. You can also do your website in here. And so if you're looking at making a website, like, okay, go up a level, get your website going, get those pieces going. You're ready to do email campaigns. Well, that's in, so you can grow the system as your business kind of grows, and then you're learning piece by piece.
My friend Amanda Lyford, who is an organizer in Michigan, she is migrating her website over to Elenore right now. And so she, after I interviewed her a few months ago, she took me through and showed me the back end of the web portal. And it's very similar to any other type of drag and drop website builder that I've seen. So even if you're not super tech savvy, it's an easy platform to learn web design on, and it's easy, especially if you know what you're doing. Like if you're in my position where I use Squarespace and Groove and WordPress and all these other platforms, it's one of those where if you kind of know what you're doing, you could probably get your website up and running on Elenore in a day, to be
Yeah.
honest, because it is pretty easy to use, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. And there's templates in there if you need to copy one of them or use it if you're super new.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and then there's people like Bree Kissler, now Morrissey. I don't know if you know Bree, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, she's pretty familiar. And she's learned a lot of the pieces of it now too. So she can always help with web design and things in there. I have to just add a random side note.
Oh, yeah.
I have thought this whole time how much you remind me of Amanda.
Oh,
And
interesting.
then you brought her up. So how fun is that? Yeah.
I love Amanda. She is
Oh
one of
yeah.
my absolute favorite people, and I just met her at the ASPO annual conference down in, Orlando over the
Okay.
late summer, and so we got to connect there in person, and she and I just, like, sat and talked about nerdy stuff, like,
Her energy is just contagious. So
oh,
I
I
can
know.
totally imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
So
great.
fun.
She's the best. Hi, Amanda. Like big fans of yours over here, apparently. So
For sure.
I'll be sure to
I
share
love
that with
it.
her. So I want to wrap up with just a couple more questions because obviously
Okay.
people are going to want to know how to get their hands on this. But just last thing, if you want to share, I don't want you to give away any secrets or anything like that. But I'm just curious if on this journey, since this is very new for you, obviously there are going to be updates, there are going to be developments, enhancements along the way. Is there anything that we may be able to look forward to as you continue to develop this software?
Yeah, there are AI possibilities coming out and ways to set up your chat. There's the little chat on your website, chatbot that also comes into your conversations, but automation's set up so that you can use AI for that and for other pieces in the platform. So that's pretty exciting.
That is super exciting. Yeah, this definitely 2024 is going to be the year of AI 2.0. There's a lot of there's a big convention that happens in Las Vegas every year. I forget what it's called. It's like the CES. It's some sort of like technology convention. And everybody is jumping on the AI train this year. So I'm excited that you're integrating a little bit of that because I'm diving into all things AI this year for sure. So for those people whose interest is piqued, they're starting their business, they have that forward thinking mindset. They know this is a tool that they must get their hands on to start utilizing. Tell us all the details. How do we find you, and how do we start that process and that conversation?
So we're on social media. Instagram's probably a great spot if you're just want to follow and think about it a little more, etc. There's also the website. Super important here. It's here. I'll hold up this little part in case anyone's watching, but
Aha,
it's Elenore.io.
got it.
And so on the website, we have another development coming, are some videos, explainer videos coming, which that's been a bigger project than I ever dreamt. But we have some explainer videos coming to the website, and you can always book a demo. And right now, Tiffany Ann says they're like a best friend tour. Basically, the demo is just walking through my system and seeing how I do things and seeing, kind of what's possible for you and getting recommendations on which level and what would be the best route forward. We'd love to show you around and help you get started.
That would be great. Yeah. And of course, we should follow your organizing company on social media as well, right?
Oh, please. I am not a guru when it comes to social media. And so yes, I would love any followers that organize at Organized by Keli and Co. and Organizer Near Me. We're about to really get that one going on social. So.
Great. Yeah. We should have you back again once you get that kind of up and going in a major way to talk a little bit more about that, because that's a great resource. I'll be sure to make to get all that stuff linked down in the description and the podcast show notes for everybody if they want to check it out, because that sounds like another really fabulous resource.
I just love talking about it because I just want anyone that it can help on this journey to know about it and have the option there to take. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been my pleasure to have you. And I really hope that everybody listening and watching will come and find you, because this will be a huge game changer for your business. So Keli, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. I hope you got an immense amount of value out of this episode today. Be sure to join my free Facebook group and get in on the conversation there. There's a lot of really great nuggets of wisdom to glean from there. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and you're free to join my email list as well for exclusive updates and special gifts. And of course, if you're ready, book that coaching call with me. My schedule fills up pretty quick, but I would love nothing more than to sit and strategize with you and show you how exceptional you can truly be in this industry. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.